Shalom everyone. In this class we're going to go over a brief summary of Parashat Vayetse, the 7th parasha out of 12 parashiot in Humash Bereshit, Genesis. We will go over the headlines first and then we will go into more detail. This class is dedicated in honor and for the Atzlaha of Aharon ben Meir. Thank you very much for your help. So let's proceed with the headlines. Yaakov leaves Be'er Sheva, the dream of the letter of Yaakov, Yaakov's vow, Yaakov meets Rachel, Lavan brings Yaakov to his house, Lavan gives Yaakov Leah instead of Rachel, Leah gives birth and Rachel is barren, Reuven and the Dudaim, Rachel gives birth, Yaakov causes the sheep to give birth to spotted offspring and becomes wealthy, Lavan alienates Yaakov, Yaakov's escape, stealing of the teraphim, Yaakov's anger at Lavan, Lavan replies to Yaakov and requests to make a covenant. Yaakov and Lavan separate. Yaakov meets angels who came to protect him. Now we're going to go over the parasha with a little bit more detail. So Yaakov left Be'er Sheva. He's going on his way to Haran. The sun set and Yaakov stopped to rest. He took some stones, he put it under his head and he fell asleep. In his dream he sees a ladder going from the earth all the way to the sky, and he sees angels going up and down on that ladder. Hashem also comes to him in the dream and promises him good things. Yaakov wakes up and he realizes that this place is holy, so he takes a stone and he makes it into a pillar. He pours oil on it and he calls that place Beth-El, the house of Hashem. Then Yaakov makes a vow and he says, if Hashem is going to be with me and I will succeed, I will dedicate myself to Hashem, and this place is going to be dedicated to Hashem as well, and everything that I will earn from now on, I'm going to give 10% to tzedakah. Second aliyah, Yaakov gets to Kedem. He sees 3 flocks sitting by the well, and he's asking about Lavan. So they tell him, they know Lavan, he's doing well, and here is his daughter coming with the flock. Yaakov is asking them, why are you sitting by the well instead of feeding your animals out in the fields? So they say that they need to give water to their animals, and that stone that's on the well, they need to wait to the rest of the shepherds in order to be able to roll it off. So as soon as they're speaking, Rachel is coming, Yaakov sees her, he goes by himself and he rolls off the stone and he gives water to the flock of Rachel. Then he greets her, he tells her who he is, and she runs, and she tells her father Lavan. Lavan, as soon as he heard, he runs out to Yaakov, he brings him home, and Yaakov tells him the story, what happened between him and Esav, and Lavan welcomes him to stay with him. So Yaakov started working for Lavan, and Lavan is asking him, how can I pay you? So now the Torah indicates over here that Lavan had 2 daughters. Leah was the older, and her eyes were soft, and Rachel was the younger one, and she was good looking. Third aliyah, so before we learned that Lavan was asking Yaakov, how can he pay him? So now Yaakov replies, he says, I'm going to work for you for 70 years in order for you to let me marry your daughter Rachel. So Lavan agrees, he works for 7 years, and then the time comes for him to marry Rachel. Lavan makes a party and he gives him Leah. So now the Torah also indicates over here that Lavan gave his daughter Leah, his servant Zilpah, to be her helper. In the morning, when Yaakov found out, so Lavan tells him, I cannot give you here in our place, I cannot give the younger before the older. Let's party for 7 days, then you can marry Rachel, but please work for me for another 7 years. Yaakov agrees, he marries also Rachel, and Lavan gives Rachel his servant Bilhah. The Torah tells us that Yaakov loved Rachel more than Leah. Hashem saw it and he gave Leah, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, and Rachel was barren. Rachel was very jealous of her sister, so she tells Yaakov, give me children or I'm dead. So Yaakov tells her, this is, it's not up to me, it's up to Hashem. So Rachel is asking him to marry Bilhah, her servant, so she can build a family from her, and that's what he does, and Bilhah gives birth to Dan and Naphtali. Leah also gave Zilpah to Yaakov, and Zilpah gave birth to Gad and Asher. Fourth aliyah, Reuven found dudaim. It's a certain plant that could help a lady get pregnant. He brings from the dudaim to his mother. Rachel asked Leah to get some of the dudaim, and in exchange she said Yaakov will sleep in Leah's tent instead of in Rachel's tent. Leah gives birth to Issachar, Zevulun, and Dinah. Now the Torah tells us that Hashem heard the prayers of Rachel, and she gave birth to Yosef. Now when Yaakov completed the 14 years that he was working for Lavan because he got Leah and Rachel, he tells Lavan that he wants to go back to his parents' home. Lavan tells him, look, Hashem blessed me because of you. Fifth Aliyah, Lavan is trying to make Yaakov stay, and he's asking him, how can he pay him? So Yaakov tells him, please give me all the spotted animals that you have in your flock, and from now on, all those spot animals, even those that will be born in the future, will belong to me. Lavan agreed. Yaakov took the brown sticks and carved them so they show like white spots, and he puts it by the runnels. So when the animals came to drink, they ended up giving birth to spotted offspring. Yaakov wisely also caused the sheep to give birth to healthy babies, and that way he became very wealthy. Now at this point, Yaakov hears Lavan's sons saying that everything that he has was taken from their father Lavan, and Yaakov sees that also Lavan changed his ways. He's not behaving with him as he used to. So Hashem commands Yaakov to return to his parents' home. Yaakov tells Rachel and Leah, and he says, I was always honest with your father. He was not honest with me. All the wealth that I earned is everything from Hashem. I didn't steal anything from your father. And he tells them that now Hashem commanded me to go back to my parents' house. And Rachel and Leah agreed with Yaakov. Sixth Aliyah, Yaakov takes his family, his property, and he flees towards Canaan. Lavan went to shear his flock, and when he heard, he started chasing Yaakov, and Hashem warned Lavan to not hurt Yaakov. Lavan came, he met Yaakov, and he complained to him, why did you have to run away? Should have told me you want to go. And then Lavan is telling him, okay, so you left. Why did you steal the teraphim? Why did you steal my idols? So Yaakov replies to him that he ran away because he was scared that he's going to take his daughters away. And then the teraphim, Yaakov tells him, if you find the teraphim by any one of my people, this person is going to die. Now, obviously, Yaakov did not know that Rachel stole the teraphim. Lavan searched the camp of Yaakov. He went from the tent of Leah to the tent of Rachel. Rachel sat on the teraphim. She says, Daddy, I'm sorry, I don't feel good, I can't get up. He left her tent, and he could not find the teraphim. So Yaakov now was complaining to Lavan for suspecting him for stealing, and he says, I worked for you for 20 years, you didn't treat me the way you were supposed to, and now you're suspecting me for stuff, complaining to him. And then Yaakov adds that only because that Hashem is protecting him, Yaakov was able to put up with Lavan, and now to really live with his family. Otherwise, Lavan would send him on his own. Seventh Aliyah, Lavan replies to Yaakov, he tells him, everything you own belongs to me. I don't want to hurt not my property and not my people, and let's just make a covenant, let's just make an agreement that we're not gonna harm each other. So Yaakov erects a pillar, and they made like a small hill out of stones. They made a covenant over there, and they appointed Hashem, the pillar, and this little hill that they made out of stones to be witnesses. After the covenant they ate, they went to sleep. In the morning Lavan kissed his grandchildren, he blessed them, and he went back to his house. Yaakov continued in his journey. He met angels that came to protect him, and as soon as he saw them, he says, this is a camp of angels of Hashem, and therefore he called that place Mahanaim. This is the end of the brief summary of Parashat Vayetse. Baruch Adonai La'olam. Amen ve'amen.